there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Frey, and here on Heavenly Terp we dive into topics such as OnlyFans, cannabis, festivals, and so much more. But today we're going to dive into OnlyFans and helping you determine your pricing and your scheduling, because I know that is a pain in the ass. So I hope that something in this video helps you navigate this industry a little bit easier. And if you are excited and want to see more videos like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell so that way you get notified every time that I post. And let's go ahead and dive right into it. About scheduling. So scheduling is something that will help you determine your pricing later down the road. Oh, look, it's Nachi. Hello, buddy. Say hi. Say hi. So a few things to ask yourself when it comes to scheduling is, one, do you have a full-time job? Sorry, I have my laptop over here so that way I have my notes. So if I'm looking over here, that's why, okay? But first of all, do you have a full-time job? Do you plan on working 2 jobs? Do you plan on quitting your full-time job? What is your ultimate goal when it comes to that? Working 2 jobs is difficult, so if you don't have the ability to quit your 9-to-5 now, make sure that you figure out what you're going to be able to put towards OnlyFans realistically, without overwhelming yourself and without putting yourself into a position where you feel where you've committed so much time to both things that you're now overwhelmed and can't do either or. And you just get into a burnout. So make sure that you really be honest with yourself and figure out whether you can realistically work a full-time job and do OnlyFans as well. OnlyFans turns into a 24/7 job. Between the marketing, the fans messaging you, making content, you're working all the fucking time. You're promoting yourself, you're marketing yourself all the time. So you want to make sure that you're being consistent with it, whether it be once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Make sure that you're being consistent with it so that way your fans know what to expect. So how many hours per day and week can you dedicate to OnlyFans? The more hours is the more work, but it's also the more financial opportunity and the more fan loyalty. So a lot of the times when you dedicate more hours to OnlyFans, you're going to be doing more work. So I do this full time. OnlyFans is my full-time job. I do not have a civilian job that's 9-to-5 anymore. I did at a dispensary when I was working at the dispensary, and I ended up having to quit the dispensary because I had to really sit down with myself. Sorry, that hair is bothering me. I had to really sit down and ask myself whether I was going to be able to continue to work both jobs, and which one meant more to me if I had to leave one. And I decided ultimately that leaving the dispensary was the move for me. And I ended up doing this full time, and that does mean that I am doing sex work all the time. I am constantly putting out content all the time. I'm promoting myself. I'm trying to do more videos here on YouTube, trying to do more stuff on TikTok. I had 11K on TikTok, got banned, and now I'm down to 2K, and I'm trying to get myself back up there. It's a process, it's a lot of work, and because of the work that we're in, we also get banned and have to restart a lot of the time. So if you really figure out how many hours you have, you can really figure out what your brand is going to be like, whether you're going to be a full-time or a little hee-hee here and there. But it's also going to build your fan loyalty. If you are really consistent, whether that be your once a week or 3 times a day, if you are consistent, your fans know what to expect, and they're going to be loyal to you because they're like, oh, that's normal. They always post at this time. They always post only once a week or whatever. You want to make sure that you're consistent so that way your fan loyalty stays loyal. Another thing is how often do you want to post? What kind of content do you plan on posting? Are you doing full nudity? Are you doing pay-per-view, live streams, kink and fetish content? What is your demographic, and do you need to expand? So that was a lot, so we're gonna break down a few of those things. The first thing, how often do you want to post? Again, once a week, 3 times a day. You want to figure out that time frame so that way you know how many hours and how long and how many photos and videos you have to make in order to meet that goal of how many times you want to post. And then what kind of content are you posting? So what kind of content do you plan on sharing on OnlyFans? What kind of content do you plan on sharing as a promotion? A lot of people who do full nudity on their OnlyFans won't show any full nudity and will only do teasers on places like Reddit and Twitter. And then we'll do even more covered up stuff for Instagram and TikTok. Some people will do full live out shots for everything. They'll do full nudity for everything, no matter what platform you're on. They want to do as much because at the end of the day, the full nudity does get the most marketing, but it's whatever you feel you're worth. It's whatever you give and take. You give and you take what you give and you take. You feel me? So if you put out full nudity, you'll probably blow up. But then a lot of people are also going to be seeing your full nudity without paying for it. So you have to figure out what you're going to, what scale, you know, it's always a scale, you know? So full nudity, yes or no? Where are you going to post full nudity? Next, we're going into pay-per-view. Are you going to be posting anything that has a price lock on it? Whether that be a paid subscription with price locked messages, or whether that be a free subscription with everything price locked, including the posts. So pay-per-view, I have both options. I have a OnlyFans that has a pay-per-view and an OnlyFans that does not have a pay-per-view. You want to decide whether you want to do both or whether you want to do one or the other. It's up to how many hours you have available for OnlyFans. Live streams. Are you going to do live streams? A lot of people do live streams because the fans enjoy it. The fans ask for it. It's a way to really get down to entertaining and to getting to know each other. And it's also just a great different type of erotica that comes from it. And it's a lot different from watching a video that's pre-recorded and that, you know, has editing. Something that's live isn't going to have any editing. It's going to be raw. What happens in the moment happens in the moment. And a lot of people enjoy that content. But most people that don't do full nudity or that only do pre-made content won't do live streams, and that does nip you in the butt a little bit. So you want to decide whether you are going to do live streams or not. I didn't do live streams for a while, and I'm starting to work myself up to it. It is something you have to become comfortable with. So don't feel like because you aren't doing these things or you are doing these things that you're a worse or better creator. Just make sure that you're doing what you feel is most comfortable for you and what you're ready for. You never want to do something that you're not ready for. You never want to push yourself too far. And if going live is something that's way too much for you, don't do it. Same thing with kink and fetish content, which is the next category we're going into as to what kind of content do you want to be posting. If you do kink and fetish content, just be aware there's going to be a lot of requests that you find uncomfortable, funny, weird, whatever. And you have to know how to navigate, how to talk about that without making that person feel uncomfortable for asking you for said kink or fetish content. If you don't do kink or fetish content, just advertise it in your bio, say no kink or fetish, whatever. If you do, I would advertise kink fetish friendly. Just that way people understand what your boundaries are. Everyone has the right to have whatever boundaries you want to have. So make sure you're being true to your boundaries and to what you're comfortable with. However, I will say that there is a large demographic for people that do like fetish content, and there's a large demographic of people that don't. So don't feel like you're losing out on something because you don't feel comfortable with fetish or kink content. And again, that just overall goes into whenever you're figuring out what kind of content you're posting, that overall just goes into who your demographic is and if you need to expand. If you find that you're too niche, expand yourself. I used to only do body hair content because that's what I was like most popular for. But recently I've found a lot of people enjoy my feet, my behind side, etc. Make sure that you're branching out to different demographics and to different groups of people. Everyone likes different things. You have multiple different features about yourself. Don't limit yourself, but definitely figure out who your demographic is. People who like Barbies are not going to come and see my page or subscribe to my page. They're not my demographic. My demographic is hippies, stoners, men who like body hair, all natural, men who like thick white women. Like, that is my demographic. And you have to be honest with yourself about what your demographic is. And just understand that typical social rules don't necessarily fit within this industry. You will be picked and poked for your looks and for certain features about yourself that you may not like about yourself. And that's something that you have to figure out if you're comfortable with before you even start getting into the industry. Because people are gonna call out stuff that you may not love about yourself, and you have to read it and deal with it, and it may negatively affect your mental health. And that's another video we'll go into another day. But figure out who your demographic is, figure out what kind of content you're posting, and just be prepared for whatever may come, because trust me, if you think you've seen it all, you haven't. I get a new comment, a new message, a new request weekly, daily, that just blows my rockers off, that I'm just like, wow, someone really typed that and was like, I'm gonna post it, I'm gonna share it, I'm gonna send it. Just make sure you remember it's all completely up to you. I want you to remember that it is all up to you. You have complete control over everything, what people have access to. Don't feel pressured into giving freebies or trailers or teasers or whatever. Do what you feel is best for you. You are in complete control. If they don't like it, they can go find a different creator, okay? Be true to you and what you feel comfortable with. So I do highly recommend, when it comes to scheduling, using Google Calendar or some form of calendar in order to help yourself kind of organize and lay out your day. So I have every day scheduled and planned for something different. So for instance, Wednesdays is like nude yoga Wednesdays with my nude yoga live streams. Mondays is a solo nude live stream. Fridays is nude flow art Friday. Sundays is film day for my big adult XXX videos that I release once a week. So those I film on Monday, or on Sundays, release on Mondays. I film my YouTube videos typically on Mondays, but this week, because of New Year's, we're doing it all on Tuesday. So Tuesday is a little bit crazy. Today's a little bit crazy. It's Tuesday. Today's a little bit crazy, but I had a great New Year's yesterday. I hope you guys had a great New Year's yesterday. But make sure that you're actually laying out your calendar and planning your day. It will ultimately help you just like not get stressed out and make sure you're covering all of your bases. I can't tell you how many platforms you have to post on to promote yourself and how many times a day you have to post on those platforms. And that can become super overwhelming, and sometimes some things can slip through the cracks, and you don't want to do that when it is your livelihood and it is your income. So Google Calendar or any kind of calendar is a great option in order to just help with your scheduling. So now we're going to move on to pricing. And again, pricing is all up to you, but there are some guidelines and industry standards that I have seen that I can tell you to just kind of help you out a little bit. So first of all, you have to decide whether you want a subscription price, a free account, or both when it comes to OnlyFans. We'll go into other platforms later down the road, but for now we're sticking with OnlyFans because it's the most popular and most well-known. But subscription price and free account, and how much are you going to charge for your subscription price? So first of all, there's pros and cons to having a subscription price. One of the pros to having a subscription price is that you are able to get that income just from someone hitting some subscribe, and you can focus then on getting more subscribers opposed to selling content. Whenever you get more subscribers, they will ask you for content as long as you're keeping up with your regular everyday content, or, you know, your regular scheduled content. They will ask you for customs, you know, that will come with the subscribers. But when you're having a subscription price, you want to make sure that your main focus when you're marketing is to gain new subscribers, because that's where you're going to make the most of your money, is subscribers and customs. Another thing with free accounts, or another thing with subscription-based accounts, is that a lot of the times you can run sales, and that is where you'll also get a big influx of subscribers. And once they subscribe the first time for that sale price, they will most likely, if they like what they see, pay full price the next month in order to resubscribe. So you're not really losing anything when you're doing a promotion. You're more so just giving people the opportunity to see your content and see what your page is all about without having to pay the full price at first if they don't want to. So I don't suggest doing promotions very often, but do them for holidays, do them if you're like really needing subscribers, do them just, you know, if you're feeling generous, whatever. You know, I always do during the holidays. I feel the gift of giving, and I put my VIP for $3, and it's all no PPV, like no pay-per-view. You can see every video I've ever posted, and it's like $3 for the entire month, and that's where I get a lot of subscribers that come in, and then they end up staying because they like what they see, and it's worth the $15 a month. But what are some cons to a subscription? I would say it's not being allowed to put a price on live streams. If you do a live stream, it is going to be available for all of your subscribers to see, or the specific subscriber that you select, which we will go into live streams and the specifics of those later down the road as well. But I wouldn't put a low subscription price if you do full nudity or if you're doing it full time, but it is completely up to you at the end of the day. The free accounts, you get a lot more versatility, a lot more flexibility, because they aren't paying a subscription price, so they aren't like expecting something out of their pay. They're only paying for what they're getting. So they're unlocking the specific content for $10 or $20 or $30 or however much you locked that specific video or photo for, and that's all they're getting is that specific video or photo whenever they're doing a free account. So you're really paying, like with free accounts, you're really just trying to get people to buy content. And that's why I personally have both, but I just don't necessarily make a lot of money on my free account, because the majority of people that subscribe to a free account are there because they're not going to spend anything. They're there because they want it to be free. They are there because they want to be there for the freebies and to see all the freebies. They think they're going to get frees, like free photos and teasers and whatever. So make sure that you're really like figuring out which one you want to do, if not both. So pay-per-view, whenever you're doing a paid account or a free account, I kind of went into that already, but only free accounts can price lock posts. So if you have a subscription price for your OnlyFans, sorry, it's getting a little dark. If you have a subscription price for your OnlyFans, they aren't going to let you put a price lock on a post. You can on a private message, but you cannot on a post or on a live stream. So make sure that whatever you're posting to your wall on your subscription-based account is something that you're comfortable with everyone subscribed seeing. But again, it's completely up to you and whatever you choose to do. So what are some basic pricing for the basics and the customs? Just to give you like a brief, a little bit of like a time or a pricing kind of range. I'll pop up a little text part here. But the basic industry standards, I would say, honestly, ultimately charge what you feel your content is worth and what you feel your time is worth as well. Take into consideration any equipment that you use, any lighting that you use, outfits, etc. But also make sure that you're taking into consideration the fact that more people will purchase it if it's not $100. You feel me? So basic industry standards, subscription fees. If you have no pay-per-view and daily nudes, I would charge $15 to $30 a month for your subscription. If you're doing daily nudes and some pay-per-view, so you're sending out like your big XXX videos through the private messages and it has a price lock, I would charge $6 to $15 a month for your monthly subscription fee, because they're still also having to pay a little bit extra to get the full video, like the full experience of like what they would find on Pornhub, for instance. If you sometimes do XXX content, but it's mainly teasers, and you don't do any full like corn videos, I would do $5 to $10 a month, depending on, again, your demographic, your lighting, your quality content, things like that. And then again, if you're a celebrity, or if you have like ultra exclusive content where like you are an influencer, or you're someone who like, you want like only the ones who are in it to win it, to fucking, pay and subscribe, charge $35 to $50 a month for a subscription. But again, the higher the subscription fee for the monthly fee, the more they're going to want out of it and expect out of it. My monthly subscription fee is $15 a month, and I do live streams 3 times a week. I do a weekly full corn video, like full XXX boy girl corn video. I do daily naked photos in different positions. I do sales. I do extra little content for people who have their rebills on. Like, I do a lot of shit on my page, and I charge $15 a month. Again, charge what you think you're worth ultimately at the end of the day. But just remember, whatever you do end up charging is going to be the realistic amount of what you will be making, and how many people will be subscribing. Just keep that in mind. We're all struggling here. Custom content. I would say, again, I'm going to pop up a little text info here. But custom content, I would say if you're doing nude photos, I would have a 5 photo minimum. Meaning they have to choose at least 5. They have to purchase at least 5 photos. And I would do $5 to $10 a photo. So that way you're not doing something for $5. You feel me? If you do $5 a photo and you don't have a photo minimum, they're going to pay $5 for 1 photo, and it's not really going to be worth your time. So make sure you have a photo minimum, and make sure that you're charging like $5 to $10 per photo, depending on what kind of photo. Again, if they want a kink photo, raise the price. You feel? So teaser photos, I would say, again, a 5 photo minimum. I would charge $2 to $7 per photo. A screensaver photo, I would say $5 to $15 per photo, depending on whether you've already had it made or not. Some people make screensaver photos because people request it often. But if you aren't someone who has screensaver requests very often, you can charge a little bit more or a little bit less for them, depending on how you feel. Videos, I would say $10 to $30 a minute is going to be the bare minimum for videos. Videos is going to take up so much of your time. I learned it the hard way, charging, very small amounts for videos that I realized afterwards took a lot more work than what I charged for. So definitely make sure that you are really thinking about how much work is going into the video for how much you're going to charge for it. If they want an exclusivity fee, or I would have an exclusivity fee, I should say, because some of them will want it to be exclusive, meaning no one else can see or purchase the video. And I would charge $100 to $300 per purchase for that exclusivity. So they are the only ones who can see that content. Because at the end of the day, any customs that you make, you should resell and reshare in order to make more money off of it. Most people don't just make a custom and then go, oh, okay, and never use that video ever again, just because it's not realistic. And why would you? It's content that you can share, and that's probably good content. It's just that person specifically wanted it for them and made for them. Obviously, if you're saying their name, it might be a little bit weird, but pick and choose what you decide. I charge a little bit more if you want me to say your name, because of the fact that I can't resell it to anyone else because it has your name in it. But it's not the exclusivity fee. It's just about like $50 extra. My dog is very upset that I'm still recording. He wants snuggles. And last thing is the kink or fetish fee. If you're not comfortable with kinks or fetishes, or if it's something, hey buddy, or if it's something that takes up a lot of your time, or if it's something that you might not be as comfortable with, do a kink or fetish fee for about $5 to $100 per purchase. Again, depending on the request and on your comfort level. So a lot of the pricing, that's it for pricing and for everything I had written down. But, you know, that's the thing when it comes to everything OnlyFans. It's all about you and what you decide ultimately at the end of the day is what your rules and pricing and scheduling is. And you shouldn't let anyone tell you any different. Don't let any fan or customer say, oh, well, I had someone do this for the, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Go back to them then. Go to them then. I don't care. Like, this is my prices. These are my boundaries. This is my rules. That is how you have to operate in this industry. You have to be very strong-headed and very independent, strong-minded, not strong-headed, strong-minded, independent, and stern on your boundaries. I would honestly, if you don't know what your boundaries are, I would write them down. Write them down as you find them out. And you know what? If you're not comfortable with something, tell them you're not comfortable with it and to go find a different creator. I tell people all the time, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable with that. I think you'd be better off finding a different creator. If I know anyone that is comfortable doing the kind of content that they're asking for, I will refer them to that person. Like, there's this one content creator that is comfortable with aspects of a kink I'm comfortable with that I'm not comfortable with, if that makes sense. I can't say it here on YouTube, but I recommend them for people who want that, and I won't give it to them. So if you don't know any other OnlyFans creators, that's fine. Just say, please go find a different creator. But if you have someone to recommend them, I suggest doing that. It just helps build a good reputation, because I'm not even going to try to say that word again. It helps you build a good reputation, not only with that fan, but with the other creator that you then sent that fan to, because you ultimately helped that creator make money at that point. So just make sure that you're doing whatever you feel is most comfortable for you and works best for you and your needs. And don't let anyone, especially a customer, tell you what your pricing or what your boundaries should be. When strippers in the club get told that, you want to know what they say? Who's the stripper? Me, not you. Okay? Who's the content creator? Me, not you. Okay? That can be your response to any fan who tries to tell you how to run your business and your pricing and your scheduling and your boundaries. You do not have to be nice to all of these people. You do not have to hold their hand. This is not the kind of customer service where you have to do that. If you are not a nice person, don't be a nice person. Don't pretend to be someone you're not. Be genuine to who you are. That is my biggest piece of advice for OnlyFans. Be genuine to who you are. It's going to be so much easier than coming up with this fake persona that you have to then like get into character for. I have a stage name. Like, Frey is not the name on my ID, but it's the name that I go by and answer to everyone that knows me from Heavenly Turp. And my persona as a human being is the same as when I'm not Frey, if that makes sense. So the more authentic you are to yourself, the easier you will have making your content and finding connections and building your demographic, because people are going to then like you for who you are and not what you're showing them on the internet, and not being fake and whatever. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I hope you learned something. I hope something you found here in this video was helpful for your OnlyFans journey. I hope that you make that bag. And if you have any questions or requests for specific videos, go ahead and comment below. Oh, excuse me. But for now, that is all I have for you today as far as pricing and scheduling. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful rest of your day. And hopefully we can get this big bag for 2024 because it is the first week of the year. Yes, we're gonna make big money this year, guys. I already feel it. So go ahead and manifest that big bag, manifest big success, and figure out your scheduling and your pricing because that will also help with your success for 2024. All right. Love you guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye.